What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, and this is today's episode of Daily Technical Analysis. Today is October 18th, 2024, and it is Saturday. So we are in the weekend little slump, I guess you could say. But we got a little bit of action going on today, a little small bit. So if we're looking on our weekly to start off with, our MACD is, so like I was talking about yesterday, we are seeing that MACD volume really stretching down now. And we can see this, the blue line is really steep down. So, the trend is down for the next while. So that's one strong indicator. We still got that cross on the KDJ. And of course, the RSI is still tipping into the bearish region. So it's looking like the trend is going to continue down for the next little while. And so once we zoom into the daily, we are definitely going to see where the support should be coming in soon, right? So yesterday we were pulling a couple fibs, and like I said, I like to start off fresh so you can see exactly where I do everything. So here we go. We'll pull this fib in here again, and I'm going to be targeting this area first and then this area. So that's 100,000 is, traders love those round numbers, especially in Bitcoin. So 100,000, I can see the support building right there. So that'll be the target for our support for the next little bit. So we can definitely see we're going to have a couple more candles. I'd say by next week, we'll be that'll be the area we'll be going in. So, we're headed down fast. That's what I'm seeing. And if we're looking on the daily, we can see this little catch here in the KDJ. And oops. We're not seeing that on the MACD, but we are seeing a little something on the RSI here. Now that don't mean that this is going to be a green day, but it definitely means it might be a little bit of a slow day, right? So let's zoom in again. So now I will go right to the 270. Okay, we remove that. So we got a nice visual look to the trend right like that. So if we zoom in to the 15 minutes, we can see that the trend, so we found some support. So it went all the way down to 103.5. So 103.5 back up to 107.5. And we're trading in this little range. Now I am seeing right away a squeeze. So I always look for this. You see it when you find the supports, your SMAs then start to catch and start to move back up. So you see these supports like this one now, after this really strong dip, we got some support that lifted the price back up. But you can see how the 200 comes down, and the 200 slightly lags behind the others. But as the other ones start to catch, we get this squeezing effect. Now, typically a squeezing effect is a sign that the trend, could change. So it gives the traders an opportunity now to decide which direction we should go in from there, right? So this is definitely going to tell us, will we get that support to move the price back up, to 110, maybe 111,000, right? Somewhere in that range could be the next little breakout. But I don't see a lot of support for that argument. I don't see the bullish argument being very strong at the moment. Everything is still pointing down on our long-term indicators, on our weekly, and on our daily. Now, we could possibly be seeing a little bottom out here on the KDJ, but that that doesn't mean that that candle can't stretch down to the 100,000, which is what I'm thinking is going to happen, especially by the look of this daily candle. Do we zoom in and really analyze just this one daily candle? We can see that today we had a rise, but the wick pushed back down, right? So now you have, so the price action moved up, but then came back down fairly quickly within the 24-hour candle. And it looks like that it's pushing back down like this, right? So we got like a little squeeze here. So it's possible that for the rest of today until this candle closes, that we'll be just stuck in this price range. And then after the next candle opens up, then we could be looking at stretching ourselves down here, right? So let's try to get some other targets before we move on. So another way we can look at this is we can pull a fib from here to here, and you can see that 96,000 right there. So that 96,000 lines up with the 618 from here. Let's get it on the numbers. Right? 94,000 here. So 96 to 94,000. I see that is where we're going to be finding some support from this. Okay, so that is definitely where we're at. You know, it's Saturday. Trading, the markets are closed. The global markets are closed. Stock markets. So until Monday's open, we'll see where we'll go. Typically, I've noticed that on the weekends, the movements are slow. That doesn't mean that nothing can happen, but the trading is much slower due to the fact that the traders around the world seem to be reeling in their expectations from the U.S. dollar. They're buying up gold. They're selling stocks. They're selling bonds. They're nervous about the current economic outlook, and due to that, we're seeing this sell-off. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon, the uncertainty of it. Until something actually happens, then we will keep speculating, and that will keep creating this volatility because we don't know what's coming. So I think that a lot of traders are playing this out. Is it going to do something like this, or do we do something like this, right? I believe that we're in our we need to break down again, right? And it's very possible that we could strike this level again. And then, if possible, it would be right along there. Let me do the horizontal for you. I am foreseeing here or this here, and I can show you why it would be around 50K. Why is that? Well, for one, we have this is a very, very, very strong trend line. But the reason is because if we also look, we got some corroboration, I guess. And I'll show you the volume weighted profile here. Let me show you. Get rid of these arrows. All right, so now I'll show you how to set this up. The volume profile right here, the VP, oops, my bad, the VPVR settings, inputs, and we change our row size to 120. And what that does then is it gives you this, gives you a nice small, smaller candle so you can read, you get more of, you can see more of the dips and the highs like that, which gives you a better analysis. Okay, so that's one thing I like to point out is when you use your VRVP. Oh my God. And so why? Because right here you have this and you have this. You see these dips? Well, this part right here is really, really strong, which tells us that if we move this up a little bit to here, now this is a really, really, really strong number. This is actually more of giving us a more perfect number, right? So this is what I'm looking at, is this and then this, like that. Like that. Okay? So these gaps, I can't zoom in. So this gap right here represents low volume in these price ranges, which means that prices in this range drop or they go up very rapidly, or they've dropped very rapidly, and very little volume has traded at this price. But as the volume increases outward, it means that there has been a lot of trading happening in this price range. And at the very tip of it, like say way down here, there's been a load of trading overall on Bitcoin at 20,000. Okay. So, but I don't expect us, like, if it goes to 20,000, then like we'll be talking about a lot of different things. This would we would be talking about like the total collapse of Bitcoin at that point, but we're not. If it comes down to 57,000, that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing this as up, this rally is over with, or this rally continues. This is why we're going to be watching this really, really closely right now, because this is a make or break point for Bitcoin. So it's going to be really important to continue watching this. But again, 57K, that's a wonderful number to me. That shows you along this horizontal line that there's a lot of strong support. You can see it right there when we zoom in. So when we were trading here in this range of 74.48, this was huge support right there, right? And that means that it touched on this line a whole bunch of times, which means this is a very, very, very strong trend line, right? So again, zoom out to get your full. That's another thing. You notice when I zoomed in, it changed. So you need to be zoomed out to the proper view to get what you want out of this. And here we go. So there we can see what we need. And so overall, we have either one more up, and it may surprise some traders, or we're going to break down and start heading into this direction. But at the moment, support is going to start. We're going to start seeing some support here, and that's going to really, really tell us, is this whole thing broken or is it not? Because there are some signs here that this downtrend is over here on the daily. We can see this is slightly bottoming out here on the KDJ, and we're slightly dropped down on the RSI. We're slightly dropped down, which tells me that this could be starting to find a bottom, find some support, and then move towards a more positive trend on the price action. And what we may actually see is this now. So this is starting to become more likely that we're going to head into $150,000 range. So tomorrow's video we'll discuss, maybe we'll get a buy tomorrow. By the next 24 hours, I think we'll have a little bit more better picture of this daily candle. Like I said, when tomorrow's daily opens, we'll see if this will come down to 102. Does it come down past this wick is what we want to know, and hit, say, 100, find some support at 100, and then we can talk about, does the rally continue? Because there is still some signs that the rally can continue, especially by the look of the trend. So that's pretty much what I think is going to happen. We got to pay attention to this daily candle close and the next daily candle open, and we go from there. And that should give us a really good picture whether we get that support or not, and where that support comes in on. So we definitely got another 24 hours of bit downturn. At least that's what I'm seeing, coming down to 103 to 100K, or like that's what I'm that's what I'm definitely seeing. Here on the 3-day, we can see the 100 SMA is showing us 103. It loves the 100 SMA. And here we're getting 101 on the 50 SMA on the weekly. So those are some supports right there. So the price can definitely drop some more from 106.9 down to 102 to 100 point. I was looking at it like 100.6 to 102, somewhere around there. So if you stuck around to the end, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and check out my other videos if you want to just see how I've been doing for the past week. And yeah, I hope you like and subscribe the channel, and I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's next episode. Peace.